As I'm getting more and more into this whole YouTube thing again, I've come across something that most YouTubers will experience. And it's something I've experienced in the past as well. And it's the concept of comparing yourself to others. Like your analytics, or how many views you get, or how many likes and subscribers you get per video, and that kind of thing. And what I've found is people will do this in their everyday life, whether it's YouTube, whether it's real life, whether it's in the gym, whether it's academics, whatever the case may be. And the same can be said in cases like your schoolwork, or your career, or even looking on social media. You will find so many people just constantly comparing themselves to other people online, like millionaires or billionaires, or people that are the same age as them, but they're vastly more successful. And there seems to be this overwhelming trend where you don't even notice it, but you start to compare yourself and your own situation to everyone else. Now, obviously, this should be noted as not a good thing. We're not meant to compare ourselves to others. We are meant to compare ourselves to our own selves. And we often find that this cyclical function of comparing ourselves starts from a very young age. Whether you're on the playground and someone says, "Oh, such and such is so much cooler than you," or you hear from other parents or even your own parents, it's like, "Why can't you be more like this person or that person?" And it's the same with like your friend groups as well. It's like, such and such is such an awesome person, but you're not. Or they managed to achieve this thing by this age. Or even your parents, the old adage of, back in my day, I had such a amount of things at this age, at your age. And the reality is, we don't progress the same as everyone else. I mean, I myself, it took me a while, until at least the age of like 25, to properly get myself in order. To properly have good routines, and to take care of myself properly, and to start building a career in whatever it is I'm doing. Because most of the time, I didn't even know what the hell I was doing. But even though I'm so away from social media, I still find myself comparing myself to others. Especially when it comes to like YouTube or Twitch. You're constantly looking at analytics, you're constantly looking at other people's channels, how they're doing things, and you want to copy it in a way, or you want to make sure that you're able to do it just as good as them. But the reality is, you can't do something just as good as someone else. You can only do it just as well as you can. And what I've found is, over the last decade or so, is I stopped caring what other people were doing. And I stopped worrying about where other people were in their life, because I realized that I myself have a lot of stuff to do, yes, a lot of things to achieve, yes, but I can't carbon copy the exact same path that other people have taken, because it just doesn't make sense. For me personally. And the same can be said for everyone who watches this video, or your friends, your family, or anyone else that you see online or in real life. Everyone has their own path, their own way of doing things, and their own trajectory as well. I mean, think of it like learning a musical instrument, or something like that. If you compare yourself to, say, someone who can perform Mozart perfectly, it took them years to achieve that. Or even some of the famous rock bands of history, like Guns N' Roses, or Avenged Sevenfold, or many of the rock bands throughout history. Even jazz musicians and the blues, those guitarists would practice for years. And at the start, when you're learning, like, say, guitar, you have to develop not only muscle memory, but also the skin on your very fingers has to harden. But that itself takes time, and it's not something that you can just become perfect overnight. Even, for example, like playing a video game. You're not going to know how the game works. You have to take the time to become better at it, to improve your strategies, to learn how it works and how it operates. And the good thing about this is you can transfer that to other parts in real life. A master mason or carpenter, they take time honing their craft, and if they compare themselves to people who built great cathedrals or great libraries made of solid oak, you will often find that they will become very disheartened. But if they were to compare themselves to the day before, you will notice that they slowly get better and better. It's one of the reasons why when people go to the gym and they take selfies in the mirror every day after a workout, they won't see noticeable change at the beginning. But if you were to compare, say, 365 days selfie and a day one selfie, they will notice a difference. A significant difference. A couple of years ago, I lost 100 pounds in pure body fat. And I did that over the course of a year. But I didn't notice the actual change in my own body in the mirror. I only noticed when I looked at the photos that my family had taken of me. And even when I started working out properly, which granted I should probably get back to, but at the time of that weight loss, when I was taking somewhat regular photos in order to track my progress, I started to notice definition in muscles. I started to notice growth in my shoulders, in my arms, in pecs. I started to notice I was slimmer. These things, they take time, but you cannot compare yourself to other people because they will have advantages and disadvantages that you don't have, just as you will have advantages and disadvantages that they don't have. So if you get anything from this, don't compare yourself to other people because it is an extremely bad comparison. Instead, compare yourself to yesterday. Not the day before that, or the month before that, or the year before that. Compare yourself to yourself yesterday and try to become a little bit better every single day. And in doing so, you will start to create habits. You will start to create things in your life that make life so much easier, and you will start to see a slow, gradual increase of skill, of confidence, and the ability to change your life for the better. In other words, follow the 1% rule. It may do you some good.